Hello, ladies. Hi. I grabbed some water. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know how everybody's Monday has been, but my Monday has been crazy. I think I've told y'all that Shane and I were having an RV built and we're going to go on this road trip and all this. Well, those of us who are lucky enough to be entrepreneurs, it's so exciting and fun, but we don't have W-2s. And so financing came back and they want like a good amount of money for us to put down, which we could basically buy two sub twos for. And we were like, yeah, we don't want to do that. So that all fell apart like last night. And at lunch today, we looked at each other and we're like, we're not going to do this. But our lease is up on our place Saturday. Y'all, I was sitting on the sofa today and Shane goes, oh my gosh, he put our sofa on Facebook Marketplace to sell it. And the guy came to take it. So we have no sofa. And movers are coming Friday to pack us and Saturday, and we still don't know where we are going. I've been reaching out to everyone that I know that has a short term or midterm in Austin or surrounding areas because we think we're just going to go there first. Anyways, if you have a short term or midterm rental that's available in Austin for next week, we would love to stay there because we don't know where we're going. But anywho, enough about me. How are you all doing? Has your Monday been as insane as mine?
Okay, well.
I know, right? Mhm. Yeah. And movers, I've never had the movers pack for me. And, of course, it actually is cheaper to move than it is for them to pack. And I looked at Shane Langford and I was like, I don't care how much it is. If you want to pack it, you can. But otherwise, we're just paying for this because it's not worth my sanity.
No.
Yeah. So if you've ever done that, let me know. Okay. Super excited about what we're going to talk about today. It's all going to be about mindset. And then after we're done talking about mindset, we're going to open it up for questions, challenges, where you're getting stuck, what you need help with. Yeah, Jeannie, we're not going to renew our lease. We don't want to stay here. We are going to leave Dallas for at least 4 or 5 months and then see if we want to come back here. So I want to know though, where is your energy right now on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you coming in at? 1 is I'm not feeling it. I'm not excited. It's been a crap day. 10 is I'm on fire. I'm just super excited about where the day's been. Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of all over the place. Cynthia and Irene, you're at a 9 and 10, lots of 8s. Sandra's at a 5, Crystal's at a 5, Bridget's at a 4. Okay, yeah, I totally understand it. Carolyn's at a 3. Well, my goal by the end of our time together today is that you're you have better energy, you're excited about what's going on, but specifically I want you to be able to have a newfound spark when it comes to what you're doing next, right? The challenges that are sitting in front of you. So for those of you who are new, maybe who do not know me, my name is Caytie Langford, and I am a former fundraising executive turned executive coach turned accidental real estate investor. And I've had the awesome opportunity of working with so many women. I've coached over 300 individual women. I've raised $35 million in philanthropy, and now am working on building my own portfolio, but specifically raising money from women for women-owned and women-led projects. And one of the things that I know is that there are things that stop all of us, right? This isn't a women's thing. This isn't a men's thing. Every single one of us has challenges when it comes to confidence, has challenges when it comes to our mindset. And if we work on these things, we truly can change our mindset. Y'all, when I first started working on mindset and when I started working on like journaling and positive affirmations and stuff like that, I was like, what in the woo-woo crap is this? How does this is ridiculous. I don't know how it works. I just know it works. There is a video that's been going around that I've seen at least 10 times on Instagram recently. And so I want you to just try this, okay? I want you to look around your room, wherever you're sitting right now, and find the things that are brown. Okay. Did y'all find something that's brown? Okay, now without looking anywhere, tell me one blue thing in your room. Drop it in the chat. Yeah. Lisa says my hat. Lisa, you're looking at yourself. Wait, some of you can spot things because you know what's in your room. Let me ask, did anyone have to step back and go, oh my gosh, what? Did I see something blue? Did I remember? Not only that, if I asked you to close your eyes and name 3 brown things that you saw in your room, would you be able to do that? Yeah. Because we put it in your mind to look for brown things. And this is the exact same thing when we talk about mindset. If we are looking for positive things, opportunities, ways to grow, people who align with us, right? Whatever it is that we want, if we're looking for that, we're going to find it. Conversely, think about the negative Nellies in your life who constantly look for this shit, right? Hopefully nobody's littles are sitting there, right? They're constantly looking for, like I told my mother-in-law, we were talking yesterday about, we've been using the same CPA for years, family business, the whole thing. The CPA sucks. I can't stand the CPA. We didn't pick the CPA. Shane's grandfather picked the CPA a bajillion years ago. And because I'm in this world with all of you, my father-in-law says, are you still using Terry? And I was like, no, he sucks. We're finding a new one. We're finding somebody who can save us money. And my mother-in-law said, well, you want to be careful to not get audited. They're so afraid that they're going to get audited that they want to stay with the safe accountant, right? You know those people. They're so afraid of the bad thing, right? The negative Nancy, the negative Nelly, that they're looking for that. So what we're going to be talking about today is our mindset. These are actually things that I have taught before. These are things that I have actually used in my own life. And so I'm going to share my screen with you all. We're going to go through this and then we're going to end the exercise with the I am exercise. We're all going to create I am statements. I did this about 3 years ago. It's so powerful. It completely changes the way that you see yourself and your brain. So we are going to get started. Can everybody see that? Yeah. Okay. All right. So mindset is everything. And if you have heard this title, I actually did for Deidre Summer Camp, who's on our thing. She owns Creative Sales Academy. She runs Creative Sales Academy. And I did a version of this for her sales academy that she is gifted to everyone. So if you're specifically in sales, there's one specifically for sales that we can also send to you. But this one I redid and I did specifically for all of us who are here today. So in case you have not read the book Mindset, Carol Dweck, you know, I love a badass woman, wrote this book and she's a psychologist. She's done all of this research. She has all this data to back it up. And she talks about how our mindset matters more than our circumstances. And it's not that things get easier. It's not that things get simpler or better. If we change our mindset, things will change. So I would love to hear from you. Drop a yes in the chat if you have experienced this. Drop a yes if you have changed your mind about something in your life, in your world that you have done differently. And then all of a sudden you've seen, oh, the circumstance didn't change, but I changed enough that things changed, the outcome changed. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I love Kay writes yes in all caps with an exclamation point. Absolutely. Okay. So this is what our goals are for today. We're going to talk a little bit about why and how your mindset is as powerful. I'm going to give you 5 tips. Y'all, there's way more than 5 tips. There's way more than 5 things that you should be doing. But when I looked at what is the easiest thing that you can do right now that you can start implementing, if you could mute yourself, that would be fantastic since we're getting feedback. But these are things you can do anytime, anywhere, and you can start right away, no matter where you are. And then, like I said, we're going to end with the I am exercise. Oh, my thing's a little wonky. See, I keep saying I need people to help me with some of this stuff. These specific data points were shocking to me. I don't know about you all, but the reason that I got into real estate investing was because I wanted to have a great life. I wanted to make great money and I wanted to enjoy the process. So people who have growth mindsets as compared to those with fixed mindsets, 31% more likely to face setbacks. Drop a yes in the chat if you have faced a setback in your real estate investing business. Yeah, all of us. Rhonda and I were talking this afternoon, and I'm like, yeah, all real estate is it's challenges, right? Like that's it. It's just setback, setback, setback. Okay, 20% on average, 20% more in earned income over your lifetime. Ladies, here's the thing that I also want you to know. We already earn less. It is a fact. I can send you all those statistics. I can send you all that information if you want to. And those of you ladies who are brown and black, you make even less than someone who looks like me. So when we talk about earning 20% more, especially when we tie it to real estate investing, especially for those of you who have big, bold things to do in this world, that you need money to do it. This statistic in itself should tell you I have to have a growth mindset if I don't already. And if I do, I have to make it even more of a growth mindset because you need to make money because you have big things to do in this life. And those things typically have a cost associated with them. Now, I don't know about you, but I naturally have stress. I naturally have depression and anxiety. I am on meds. I work with my doctors. I try and do absolutely everything possible. And so we know that the research tells us that those folks with a growth mindset have lower levels of stress and are less likely to have anxiety and depression. So what does this mean? All right, we're going to go through 5 tips. These are things I'm actually using. These are things that I've coached past clients. And I want to also understand from you, are you using any of these? And if you're not, perhaps what are the reasons why you're not? Maybe they're scared of you, or excuse me, maybe you're scared of them. I had a client a long time ago. We were using one of these mindset techniques and she's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. And we worked through why she didn't. And we understood it was because it made her uncomfortable. And that typically happens, but that's okay. That's how we move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So number 1 is we've got to be breaking down our short-term goals. I know we had a goal setting meeting a couple of months ago back in January. I'm curious if you have your long-term goals written out with short-term goals. Will you drop an I do in the chat? Crystal, I love that you said sort of. Crystal, would you be willing to come off of mute to have a quick chat with me for a second? I can't see you, so just,
Sure.
okay. Hey, lady, how are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, there you are. Um, okay, tell me, do you have your longer term goals written down?
So part of that women's mentorship that I just joined, they
Mhm.
make you do a vivid vision.
Okay.
So I have like my 2024 goals and I have my like where do I want to be? Like what age do I want to retire? But they're written out,
Yeah.
but they're not like super detailed yet. And so that's where I'm struggling is to get, okay, well, here's this goal. And what steps do I need to do to get there? Like my long-term goal is to retire in 3 years. That's for my W-2. Like that is my long-term goal and to be able to travel and do all the fun things that I want to do. And I just need to figure out what I need to do to get there. I'm starting to, but it's not quite written out.
Yeah. Okay. If any other woman who's listening said, "Oh, that's why I don't have short-term goals is because I don't know all the steps." Will you just write "that's me" in the chat? Nobody? Oh, okay. Couple of us. Okay. Here's what's funny. The reason I put this as number one was because I was like, "Oh, Caytie, you're not doing this." I have my big goals. They're actually on my board back here. I know exactly where I want to go. I'm having conversations with some of you, with other investors, and I'm like, this is my long-term goal. This is what it is. I've started to break them out, but I haven't. And Bridget just nailed something in the chat, which she says, I am a recovering perfectionist. Marcy says, I have a pretty vision board, but I just keep putting it off. Y'all, I'm with you. I need to commit to this as well. These other tips, I'm doing these, but this one I'm not because sometimes this is scary. We don't know what the next steps are. We don't know how we're actually going to get there. And we think short-term goals are how. Tamar just said it, and you just took the words out of my mouth. You don't need to know how, just have the goal, and the how will come. So sometimes the short-term goal is, in the next 30 days, I'm going to talk to at least 25 people about my long-term goals and see if they can help me figure out how it's going to happen, right? It doesn't have to be the actual step list, right? Tammy says we end up creating a to-do list. That's not a goal. That's not what we're trying to do. But that we can put things on our short-term goals that are actions that we can commit to. Kay said Atomic Habits changed your life. Kay, I have that book. I've tried to read it. I hate it. It's probably because I don't like details and it gets like real into the nitty gritty details about habits. But I love that and probably need to go back to that. So if you can commit to setting short-term goals, if you don't already have them, will you just drop a I can do that in the chat? Irene says you need who, especially people who, oh yeah, I need who for sure. Um, so maybe some of your short-term goals there are, I'm going to identify who can help me, right? I'm going to talk to people who might be able to help me or connect me with the people. Okay. Tip number 2, when we comes to achieving a growth mindset, growing a growth mindset is self-compassion. Um, just drop a me in the chat if you are like, yeah, that's real cute, Caytie, but I'm super hard on myself. Just gonna type me in all capital letters. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think, I don't know about y'all, but this one for me is the one that makes me the saddest when I don't practice self-compassion. It also is probably the hardest one to admit to others because I would venture to guess that most of us would never, ever, ever, ever talk to our best friends or the people we love and say some of the things that we say to ourselves. I love that several of you said you are recovering. Curious, Irene or Bridget, do either one of you want to just jump on, unmute, and tell us? Crystal said, I'm not an asshole to my friends. Exactly. Bridget or Irene, would one of you want to tell us what you have been doing that has allowed you to practice self-compassion?
It's not necessarily, I will share two things, right? One is a couple of years ago, I'm always a sucker for personal development courses. And I remember there's one that in a workshop, and then the exercise is about describing your life in as if it's a movie. And I don't even remember what I said, but something, and then and then you share with someone sitting next to you. And then basically the theme that I realized my story happened is if I'm not the best in the class, in the group, then I'm not good enough. And so I share with him, how I've been kind of pushing myself and again and again. And then he looked at me and said, don't you feel tired? And at that moment, I just literally cried.
Yeah.
And then from there, then I start noticing how hard I've been on myself. And I mean, think about it. If I'm not the best, then I'm not good enough. Then it's like a game that I'm doomed to lose, like for sure. Because whenever I move to go to the next level, then I'm always not going to be the best, right? And then I start noticing how other women are often have the same challenge. And when I ask, would you, would you say that, like, describe that, and then now think about you describe to your friend, would you say it to your friend? And I, no. Then I ask, then why do you tell to yourself, right? So I start noticing about the importance of self-compassion and empathy. And I also got that when I was dealing with depression a couple of years ago, when I used to think that when you're not performing, you are either not competent or you're not working hard enough. That was very black and white way of seeing things. And then when I was the one dealing with depression, I was not at my best, but it's not like an either or, right? So that humbled me to realize that sometimes you have no idea what other people are dealing with. And that got me to learn about empathy and compassion. So those perspectives gave me to start noticing more. And then last week I was at Race Fest. It was great meeting people. But then yesterday I really dedicated my entire day not meeting anyone, just self-care, go to Pilates and get ice cream and go to the beach. Just, putting the time for myself it's okay to not doing business for a day and not meeting people, right? Because I need the time to recharge and not considering as anything selfish or lazy. So that's how I see it and practice it.
I love it. Thanks, Irene, for sharing that. And I think one of the things, it's super insightful. I totally agree, Lisa. I can't see how many people are on here. So somebody drop it in the chat. There's 38 of us. When you said, Irene, like, I always have to be the best, like that hit me so hard. I bet that out of the 38 of us, there's more than you and me that have thought that we have to be the best. But then you look at the group and you're like, holy crap, there are amazing, wonderful, badass women in here, right? You can't always be the best. You can't, So one of the things I want to remind everyone when we talk about self-compassion is it is a practice. If you've ever had a loved one who has been ill, who's had to have surgery, who maybe is at the end of life and you're trying to figure out the care, you understand that medicine is a practice, right? It's not something that is an absolute black or white, thing for every single person because we're all different. Self-compassion is also a practice. Some days you're going to be great at it, and some days you're not. And the key is just like real estate, right? Where we keep looking for the deal, looking for the deal, looking for the deal. We have to keep practicing this self-compassion over and over and over. Yeah, Sandra said it's like yoga. I mean, right? If you've ever done yoga, some days your body will do things and some days it won't. You're like, damn, I did that yesterday. Okay, let's go to number 3. Challenging negative thoughts. Who has negative thoughts? Anybody raise their hand? I do. Okay, this is a method. Yes, I love Mel Robbins, the high five. This is another easy, quick, it's called 153 method. So when you tell yourself something negative, you count to 5, you give yourself a breath. Then you say 3 positive things back to yourself. These don't have to be things that you necessarily believe. These could be things that you're working to try and believe. So one of the things that I don't necessarily believe about myself, because I know that I'm not, is I'm not always patient and calm. But I desire to be calm. I desire to be more patient, specifically patient and calm with myself, right? Oh, maybe they are too. So what are those 3 positive things that you can say back to yourself? And then you repeat those. Another interesting thing that you could do when we talk about challenging negative thoughts is you could look at some other habit that you have, and connect a positive thought to that you're going to say to yourself. So one, if you really, really want to push yourself to kind of go there, is to do the water challenge. So every time you drink water, you use water to wash your hands, you cook with water, you go to the bathroom, anytime you have an interaction with water, you say one positive thing about yourself to yourself. You can also do it with gratitude, right? But it's about taking habits, things you're already doing in your lifetime or your lifestyle, and hooking them to things that you desire. So if you want to desire positive thoughts about yourself, do that. Okay, number 4, take a break. Irene and I swear we did not even talk about this, but it's so true. How many of us, when things are not going right, we're like, you got to do more then. You got to double down. You got to do more, right? The deals aren't coming. So you're like, I'm going to comp 10 more today. I'm going to call 5 more people, right? Instead of like setting the glass down so we can relax for a second, we just hold it out. Like that's going to solve the thing. So taking a break, taking a day, taking an hour. I don't know about y'all, but when I take a walk, everything in my life changes. Anyone else? Yeah, it's like crazy. I could take a 10-minute walk or I could take an hour-long walk. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my mind is totally different. Okay. Julie said she's taking a lending break for a few months. I love this, right? A break doesn't have to be a day. It doesn't have to be a few minutes. It could be when you're like Julie that you take a break from part of your business for a longer period of time. I talked with Rhonda today. She told me about how she took a break. She needed space. Sometimes when we give ourselves space, not sometimes, always. When we give ourselves space, it creates a vacuum. And when we create a vacuum, things come into our life that we need. I love all of these other ways that people. Oh, Caitlin, you just said it can be so hard to give yourself a break. Would you want to come off mute for a second and chat about that?
Just a second.
Okay, you got your little one. I love this. Rhonda says she took 6 months off from Facebook groups. Y'all, I like took Facebook off my phone for a year and a half. It was amazing.
So this is specifically with my husband's been trying to learn day trading, like to be a stock trader for 7 years. And he is in his like do or die, we are doing this or we're not doing this.
Okay.
And I can see, like, from my perspective, I'm like, he just shifted what he's doing to be more active, and actually like trading live instead of demo trading. And like, it's been a rough couple weeks because he's been so stressed about it, but I'm like, you need to take a break because like you can just see it, you know? But then with myself, I'm like, okay, Sunday I have to, you know, even if I need a break, right? Sunday's meal prep day. Otherwise, the rest of the week is just too hard. Or like, or I've been like, oh man, I don't have any networking calls on my calendar. So I have to like message 100 people and, you know, and just, but then I like add so many tasks to my plate and some of that you have to do, right? But you know, you can also then like get into that sort of like downward spiral, of like, oh, no one wants to work with me. No one, everybody already has the person they want to work with, blah, blah, blah. And so then I'm like, that's when I need to take a break, but I don't.
So what advice does anyone else have on what Caitlin could potentially do to take a break? Does anyone else face this? I'm great at taking breaks, so I don't have any advice. I'm like, I would just do it. I'd be like, screw meal prep. It'll be fine. But I don't have any family. Like, I don't have kids or anything. Is anyone else?
I'll say something. It's Colleen.
Go for it, Colleen.
My kids are grown, and I used to just never take a break. And then you're like, you run yourself to the ground, and then it's just terrible. And I don't do that anymore. And well, I'm sorry, my husband's got a bag there. Anyway, literally, I think that if you don't take time for yourself, now I prioritize me first. Like, I even went back to sleep this morning because I've been working really long hours. And I think that the meal prep will be fine. The kids, even if you take I swear, I don't even believe in McDonald's, but even if you take your kids to McDonald's or Taco Bell or get food delivered, whatever it is, literally, it all can wait. I think that you have to prioritize yourself, and you show your children how to take care of themselves by taking care of yourself. And so if you always set the example, I'm watching my daughter at 33. I taught her not to take care of herself because I didn't take care of myself when she was young. And I'm now, as a grandma, taking care of myself, and I'm really encouraging her. Like, I'll even fly out and let her go on a trip, right? So she can go. And so I'm teaching her to do differently than I did. And I think that if you don't have your energy, we're all magnets of how we all attract how we're being. And the problem is if you're not having fun and making it that intentional, and it's not on your calendar for rest and fun and self-time, then you're just attracting more crap into your life on a constant basis. And I think it's bad. I think you got to put it on the calendar immediately. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I try to carve out, like, when they go to bed, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I can't, like, I need that hour to not work and not try and be productive. But then some days I'm like, well, I know what tomorrow looks like, and there's no way I'm going to get this done tomorrow. So I just have to do it right now, you know?
What about taking a break?
Yeah, my
Do
question
you
is
have your
like,
husband watch the kids so you can go take a break during the day?
Oh yeah.
Or-
Well, not during the day. They're at school. They're at school during the day. So that's how I work. But
so my
um
question is everything gonna fall apart?
no,
And I
probably
really
not.
don't know. Zero
Probably
judgment.
not.
I have no idea.
Probably not.
And I don't, Caitlin, I don't want you to, there are 3 people's hands raised right now because clearly we've hit a nerve because even Monica said, I feel guilty. Maricela said, I feel guilty. Crystal said, I feel guilty. Irene,
was me.
talk to us.
That was me. That used to be me. I would just be like, oh no. Even my mom forced me to go on a vacation when my son had cancer just for 2 days to a women's retreat type thing with my aunt. She forced me to go, like they basically kidnapped me. And I was so freaked out that because my son had cancer, I felt like because my son had cancer, I couldn't have fun, which sounds like counterintuitive and really stupid, but I think that we just have to start. I don't know why we've been conditioned as women not to prioritize ourselves. And
Oh, well, I have 10,000 ideas about that. Yeah, go Irene.
So I think I think everybody who struggle with it is, it's not that you don't know the importance, right? What's really in the way, it's a sense of guilt. That women are conditioned to taking care of others before ourselves, right? So that's where you can put the airplane message about, put your oxygen mask first before you're taking care of others. That is actually really hard for women to take that. One practical tips though is, instead of keep shaming yourself and guilt yourself about you should, and then you don't, and then you feel bad about why you didn't. Like, instead of that, think about it like, so when you do workout, if you want to grow muscle, you know that you need to have rest day. You need to, because that is when your muscle actually grow, right? And there's no, like right or wrong, it's just science. And so one way to think about it is put it on calendar. It's not even like I'm, resting to just like, move away from work. It's for you to grow. It's just making an analogy, thinking that you are growing a muscle. It's just, instead of physical muscle, you're growing it in your capacity for your mental well-being, your full person, right? And then put it on calendar. There's no like right, wrong. It's just the way to go to grow. And then once you put on calendar, everything else that everybody is a superwoman. You can move around things to actually allow that. And if you think about that, the quote unquote downtime as your rest day, and even put depending on personality, right? You may even put like an agenda about what you're gonna do in that a couple hours of rest time or rest day, and then just follow the plan. Then if you feel better, just think about it almost like a business meeting, except the business meeting is for you to rest. Then maybe they will feel less guilty about it.
It's so fascinating that you said that about the business meeting. I remember when I was in fundraising, I talked to a woman. She was the CEO of a family foundation, and she would read all of these books. And I'm like, how do you have time to read? She's like, oh, well, I do it for my job. Like, because I need to do this, I do it then. And I started thinking about that in such an interesting way, especially as an entrepreneur. We get to design our businesses. We get to design how we spend our time to grow our companies. Shane. Sorry, Shane is in the kitchen and he thinks he can turn on the water faucet right now. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I schedule things in, like I have to read this book because it's something that I'm growing in. Kay, come off mute and tell us what's happening.
Hey, okay, let me raise my hand down. Okay, perfect. Hey, Caitlin, I don't know how much older or younger your kiddos are, but I have a 2.5-year-old, and I know all of us mamas who've had toddlers know how much of a demanding spot that is. But so I mentioned Atomic Habits, the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So there's a quote that he said is, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So that made a profound difference for me, because I was like, okay, every day, I was feeling kind of depleted. Like by the end of the day, depleted. I was not showing up as the wife I wanted to be, as the mom I wanted to be, right? The guilt stuff, whatever it is, all the whole mix of bags. So I was like, what can I do? What system can I set up so that I can show up powerfully? I can be satisfied. I can be fulfilled. So what I did was I carved out a few hours every morning. My son's wondering who I'm talking to. I have a headset on. Hold on, honey. Hold on. So I carved out a few hours every morning. I listen to a gratitude meditation, do that open heart chakra stuff to kind of set my intentions. I allow myself to have 2 to 3 hours alone time every morning. And my husband's very clear on what that does for me. And he's seen the results. It's how I've shown up as a wife for him. So it's just an ask, right? Like, I know us ladies have a hard time asking for what we need. So I tell him that that's my time. Like, that's my time to rejuvenate, to recharge, to feed my soul, if you must, open my heart up, and then I can take on the rest of the day. So if you're a morning person, like, that may work for you, or at nighttime, For me, at nighttime, it doesn't really work because my toddler, gets up early and stuff like that. And it just doesn't work for me because, I'm more of a morning person. So maybe look at your life and your schedule and your lifestyle and everything, and see what you can do to carve time for yourself. And like Irene said, Irene, you just hit the nail on the head. Because every time I have the guilt of maybe getting myself ready first, or feeding myself first, or whatever it is, I'm like, I am putting the oxygen mask on myself first. And it's not because I'm being selfish, it's because if I can't take care of myself, because I'm the bones or the foundation of this household, right? Like, I got to take care of myself first, and it's okay. Like, you can take 5 minutes to feed yourself first before you tend to your child, or whatever it may be. So it's like, I always tell that to myself. I'm like, I'm giving myself oxygen first. Yes, honey. Love you. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So, yeah. So I hope that helps. I hope you find a system or something that will work for you, and just remind yourself, you're just giving yourself oxygen first so you can give oxygen to others. Thanks for letting me share.
I love that, Kay. Yeah, thank you, Kay. Well, and I love your littles, were in the background. I think the other thing is this. I'm not a mom. I don't know what that's like. I know that all of my friends who are in the middle of momhood, right? It can be a big challenge. The other thing to remember is maybe you're having a hard time taking a break now, but maybe your goal is, okay, this year I'm going to work on being better at that, right? This year I'm going to take more breaks, right? Go back to that, take the big goal and make it down into a shorter goal, and know that the season that you're in is not the season you're going to be in forever. Sandra, tell us what is happening, lady.
All right. So to Katie's point, one of the things I was going to say is this part when your kids are, I have 4 kids. I'm 53. I've been raising children since I was 29 years old. And that part where they're little and they really need you all the time goes really quick. And it's because it's so busy. So that there will come a time where your kids will be off doing their homework and all of that. But I want to kind of tie in the going gentle on yourself and taking a break, because you like say to yourself, if this was my best friend coming to me saying, Caitlin, you must have friends that are in the pits of it with you that have the same age kids and are working and are trying to do everything. If your best friend came to you and said, I don't know how to do this, I'm stressed, you would never say to them, keep plowing through, hun. Don't order pizza for your kids. Don't take a break. Just keep plowing through. You would say, don't do this to yourself. You're going to make yourself, I forget exactly what the saying is. There's like some saying that's like, take care of your wellness, or you will eventually take care of your illness. You have to take care of yourself, and it's okay to order pizza, go to McDonald's. It's okay to switch your clocks by a half an hour and tell your kids it's 7:30 when it's 7, and put them to bed a half an hour early. Like anything you need to do, even if it's 30 minutes of you flipping through a magazine, it's a reset. Just like Caytie said, 10-minute walk, whatever that is for you. And it's different for every single person, what resets it. So for me, sometimes I can walk through Home Goods for a half an hour, and it's like looking at all the mirrors and the lights and the towels. And I get in my car and it's like new world. And that's different for everybody, what that is. Some people are meditating. I meditate too. You just have to figure out what that is for you. And you don't need 3 hours of it. It's just, if you hit that thing that works for you, it'll reset. And as Colleen said, your children watch you way more than they listen to what you say. And it's so good to say, Mom is going to cook dinner tonight. I'm tired and spent. What do you think about pizza? Your kids aren't going to be like, wow, we want grilled chicken. They'll be happy. Great, perfect, love it, So I would just say, you just have to take it. And this is me coming from a spot of, I've been where you are, and was so scheduled with my whiteboard of the schedule and everything else. I had to be with 4 small children. And I don't think I did a good job of modeling it for my kids when they were really little, but now I got older and wiser. And now I say to my kids, you take breaks from work to play. If you come to me and you say, I'm tired and I need a mental health day, I let my kids stay home from school. I just do. I never want my children to just plow through. End rant.
I love that. Thank you so much. Also, Colleen just said if anybody is in Seal Beach, California area, she'll give you a break. You can have like an extra grandma for your kids. I love that. Okay, let's get to tip number 5, which is visualize your success. This is one of the most powerful things. Y'all, this kitchen that we're sitting in, I actually have a picture on my Pinterest board that looks almost identical to it. That I just was like, that's a cute kitchen. And then I posted it, right? When I think of myself giving my TEDx talk, I visualize standing on that stage, right? Beyonce talks about this all the time. She says, when I get to the concert, when I perform, I've already done it thousands of times in my head. And we've talked about this before, that your brain doesn't know if something is happening right now or if you're reliving it. So when you're visualizing something, your brain thinks it's happening. So when you get to the actual thing, it's like, yeah, no, I've already been here. I totally get that. And so that is what we're going to do with the I am statement. Now, of course, I would love to tell you that my next slide is going to come out in waves the way it's supposed to, but it doesn't, because I didn't know how to do that on Canva. I only knew how to do that in PowerPoint. But what I want everybody to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen. We're going to go through and create our own I am statements. This is part mantra, part visualization. And the goal is you are supposed to be this every single day to yourself. I did this a couple of months ago. I actually have mine. Oh, you can't even see because it's blurred. I have mine all written out, and it's framed, and it sits on my desk. And every day I read this out loud to myself. Julie said it's perfect anyway. Thank you, Julie. I really appreciate that. Okay, so on the top of your page, I want you to write I and your name. Gotten that, I want you to pick 3 to 5 adjectives that describe your future self. These don't have to be words that you say, oh, that's me now. What is your future self? It can be anything. It can be fun, courageous, confident, bold, calm, loving. Once you have gotten those adjectives, and no rush if you still need time, I want you to just use 3 to 5 words to describe roles that you have in your life, right? So they can be business owner, spouse, friend, speaker, capital raiser, fix and flipper, mom. It can be anything that you feel like is a role identify with in your life. I use the word leader in mine because I see myself as a leader.
Is that future roles or current roles?
Great question. I think that you could do both.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally, when we put this all together and you speak it, this is the woman that you're becoming. But instead of saying, I am becoming her, you're saying, I am her. As my friend Jillian Murphy, who is a sales coach extraordinaire, she says, be her now, right? We're going to achieve our goals. We've got to be who we want to be now. When you've gotten through this, will you just give me a thumbs up, the digital one? Okay, I'm going to give everybody another minute. Okay. I have about 15 seconds left. Okay. Bridget says it's like dressing the part or the role you want. Absolutely. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I get dressed up in a certain way when I'm going to a meeting because that's what I want to portray. Think about it like when you go to interviews for working for someone else. Okay, the next piece is I want you to think about a verb. So let me read you mine. So mine says, I, Caytie Langford, am worthy, bold, confident, authentic, and prosperous. I am a leader, a manifester, a wife, a business owner, a friend, and a speaker. Through my speaking, right? So through something I do, I inspire others in their own greatness and I manifest my dreams. So yours might be through real estate, I millions to live my dream life, right? It can be for yourself, it can be for others, it doesn't matter. Does that make sense to everyone?
Can you
It
read
doesn't-
yours one more time to us?
Yes. The whole thing or just that sentence?
The whole thing.
So mine is I, Caytie Langford, worthy, bold, confident, authentic, and prosperous. I am a leader, a manifester, a motivator, a wife, a business owner, and a friend. Through my speaking, I inspire women in their own greatness. I manifest my dreams.
I love it.
Thank you, friend.
That totally just took me to a new level, by the way.
Thank you. So I'm going to give you another minute. We're going to go over time. If you can stay, great. If you can't, I'm going to get this up on YouTube as quickly as possible. And we'll drop it in Trailblazers. Also, like the last 10 weeks or so are on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel, Caytie Langford. And then there's a whole Trailblazers replays. Okay, once you've gotten your through, your verb, I, action verb, to, and then what you want to create in your life, you want to end with one wrap up sentence or two that says, I am. So mine is, I am more than a conqueror. Prove it every single day. So yours might be, I am a badass. So I am something. Want to put, and I prove it every single day. I'm going to drop that in the chat because I forgot to put that on this slide.
Okay. Does anyone, first of all, does anyone want to come off of mute and read what they've put together? And I will tell you this, when I did this in a group exercise, I went home and changed mine. So yours doesn't have to be perfect tonight. You can take time to craft it and change words and all of those things. But what I would love to hear. Oh, Sandra, go for it.
I am in control of my own future, which will exceed my hopes and dreams. I will take action every day, believe in myself, and surround myself with like-minded people.
Awesome. Okay, I want you to redo it and say, I am Sandra, and then read it.
Okay.
And really like put it in there. I am
Sandra, and I'm in control of my own future, which will exceed my hopes and dreams. And I will take action every day, believe in myself, and surround myself with like-minded people.
Get it. Love it. Thank you. Elena, go for it.
Mine just, so I was doing the number 3 one there, because that one was actually a little bit challenging for me to put all the pieces together. So for that one, I put through entrepreneurship, I am financially free. I inspire others to be their best selves, and I live life on my terms.
Yes, that's perfect.
So it kind of like envelops all of the things that I'm trying to do, financially, and like with Pilates, helping people to be, better physical condition, all those things. Right. So I feel like that's where I was struggling a bit to put it all together. And that's why I just use the generic term entrepreneurship, because I think this will, for me anyways, be a lot of different things. And then for the last one, number 4, I'll share that one. And I put, I am tenacious. I prove that every day by pushing through challenges and by pushing through challenges and finding creative solutions to them, and then I couldn't finish the last piece of it. I want to get to that final piece. So that's why I shared it out there. See if anybody has any ideas for me.
Love it. Love it. Drop it in the chat in case anybody can help you wordsmith. And again, if you got to take this and sit on it for a week or so, do it. Y'all, when I first put speaker on mine, I was like, well, I want to be a full-time speaker, but I'm too scared to say that. Even though I'd already spoken hundreds of times and been paid, I was like, who am I to say that? So sometimes you might have to ease yourself into a word or two. Sometimes you might have to be like, well, I don't actually believe this about myself yet. That's okay. That's what you want to put in there. Okay, who's next? Making eye contact with you, sis.
I can share mine.
Okay.
It's just, well, the part that was really big for me, through my real estate business, I help the people that I love and care about, as well as myself, here's the kicker, to become the best that we can be. I was like, oh my God, that's really what I'm trying to, I keep thinking there's so many people that are in my circle that I know that I love that really need something, whether it's for their health or, they just need money would really liberate them. And it's like,
yes.
I don't want them to be dependent on me. And I don't want to create some weird, I don't want it to warp our friendship. Really, I want to be able to use money to help other people to grow and prosper themselves and to, break through things and break free. And so it's so important to word that as my vision and to see that rather than see all the potential ways it could go wrong. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Is that when we break things down like this, when we look at what are the words that actually describe us? What are the words we actually want to use to assign to ourselves? I mean, I think most of you know, if you're following my journey at all, you know that I am alcohol free. I do not drink. I will tell you, I was asked this weekend, do I go to AA? I don't, because I'm not going to stand up and say I am that word. I can't. It's not in me. Even though I know that I have to stay away from alcohol, I'm not going to assign that to myself, because what I assign to myself matters, right? So that's like a very, I mean, maybe sensitive. I don't know. It's not really. I talk about it all the time. But like the words that we use to describe who we are matter. And the words that we use to describe the impact that we want to make in the world, they matter. So absolutely, Carolyn, I love it. Who is next? There's like 4 people who are head down. I don't know if they're still writing. Oh, 3 of you just looked up at the same time. I'm like, are they writing, or do they not just want to look at me? Sandra.
All right, I am Sandra. I am confident and I am fearless. Through real estate, I'm living my best life, living left of center, inspiring others to take action and bettering their financial wellness and health.
I love it. Okay, will you do something with me? I want you to stand up.
Okay.
I know. So here's the thing. So in my old coaching, when I used to do career coaching, I would tell people to stand up, right? When we stand up, we speak from a different part of our body, right? We speak from our diaphragm. We can take up more space. As women, we don't take up space. So you just said this. This is what you said, Sandra. You go, I am fearless and confident. And I want you to be like, I am fearless and confident. Okay?
All right.
So do it again. Take up space, spread out your legs.
All right.
Like,
I just moved out further out. Okay. I'm Sandra. I am confident and fearless. And through real estate, I'm living my best life, living left of center, inspiring others to take action and bettering their financial wellness and health.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for doing that with me. Thank you for being brave to do that. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay. Who else?
I would like to, if you would guys let me.
Yes, are you getting, that's a great question. If you're getting stuck, let's do that.
I don't know. I don't feel stuck. I just, it's a bit intimate, so bear with me.
Okay.
I am Uliana. My adjectives for future, I am financially free of financial worries. I am healthy, energetic, and exercising. And I am having intimate relationship. Yay. For the future. My roles, video production at church. I'm investor and I am part of a community and a friend. So through my brain and my money, I create an environment around myself for people to feel better about themselves and go achieve their best visions to date. I see myself as a community glue, accelerator, catalyst, oil, or resource. So that's mine.
That's amazing, Uliana. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, the only edit that I have, and you can email this to me too if you want. If anybody can email me theirs if they want wordsmithing, because I do actually thrive in that environment. Is I want you to say, I am a catalyst. I am, right? Instead of, you used another word, you put another word in there. Do you know, what did you say right before catalyst?
Accelerator.
No, what was the word before that?
I am a community glue, accelerator, catalyst, resource, and oil.
Perfect. Okay, just exactly like that. That's perfect. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
so
so
great.
much. Thank you.
Who is next? Anyone need help? Anyone want to share theirs? I know this can be super intimate. Let me ask you this. Would it be worth it to anyone for me to stop the recording so that you can share, so that you know that this isn't going to be anywhere?
I would like that because I need help with mine
Okay.
and I don't
Okay.
want it on YouTube.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right. Huh. You know what? Oh yeah. Okay, I did. Stop recording.